This is the rbi2, the world's leading biopsy system used in the diagnosis of Hirschsprung's disease. Used in over 50 countries, the rbi2 is preferred by both surgeons and nursing staff for obtaining submucosal specimens in patients of all ages, from neonates to adults. This video has been produced to demonstrate the correct technique that will deliver the optimum result for patients and practitioners with each procedure. So let's take a closer look. The rbi2's airtight design allows the operator to maintain control over the pressure required to achieve the biopsy. And thanks to the rbi2's engineering, which has eliminated any suction loss, one-size capsule hole suits patients of different ages and weights. The system is made up of a handpiece, manometer, single-use capsules, and a sterilisation tray. The rbi2's reusable handpiece only has 4 individual parts, so assembles in seconds. And being free of blades or seals means easy cleaning and no ongoing service costs. The ergonomic pistol grip has been designed so the capsule can be placed on the handpiece in one of 2 orientations, depending on whether the operator is left or right-handed or uses an above grip or below grip technique. The handpiece outer tube acts as a housing for the blade striking piston for securing the capsule. The blade striking piston has a cannula from front to back and a trigger for easy blade activation. To assemble the handpiece, you simply place the spring onto the blade striking piston. Place the striking piston into the outer housing and screw on the rear lock nut. The sterilisation and storage container helps not only to avoid damage to the handpiece, but also parts getting misplaced. It includes separate pockets for each individual part and a diagram for assembly. Now, the manometer. It's supplied sterile in boxes of 10. It gives the operator control over obtaining the right combination of negative air suction pressure that's required to draw the tissue into the capsule hole, and also helps the operator find the correct position when placing the capsule against the mucosal wall. It features easy-to-read increments and a blue diaphragm, which will only react when the capsule hole is fully covered by mucosa and negative air pressure is applied. Before you commence the procedure, the manometer must be calibrated. Here's how. Leaving the red cap on, place a 10mm syringe onto the manometer connection port. Pull back until the blue diaphragm is drawn down below the calibrate line. Release the syringe plunger into a neutral position. Remove the red end cap and attach one end of the tube to the manometer and the other end of the tube to the handpiece. Important tip. Don't load the single-use capsule before placing the tube onto the handpiece, because you may accidentally fire the capsule when you connect the tube to the blade striking piston. And once the blade's fired, you'll have to use another capsule. So now we'll move on to the capsules and start the procedure. The capsules are supplied sterile in boxes of 10 procedure packs. Each procedure pack contains 3 capsules. They come preloaded with an ultra-sharp blade and an independent seal to ensure suction is maintained for the duration of the biopsy. Simply place the capsule onto the end of the handpiece. So you can monitor insertion depth, identify the 5 markers positioned 1 cm apart along the capsule. Taking into account your grip technique, check the hole orientation to ensure you make contact with the posterior wall. We recommend using a below grip technique because this gives the operator greater control while placing minimal capsule pressure on the mucosal wall. Insert the capsule into the rectum in a neutral position. Have your assistant slowly pull back on the syringe until the blue diaphragm reacts and reaches your desired suction level. Check that the blue diaphragm holds at that level. If you notice the blue diaphragm slowly retracting, this may be caused by stool covering the hole. In this case, release the syringe, withdraw the capsule from the patient, flush the capsule and handpiece with saline, and restart the procedure. If the blue diaphragm doesn't react at all, withdraw the capsule from the patient, depress the syringe, and restart the procedure, gently approximating the capsule against the mucosal wall. At this point, thanks to the independent seal, you'll notice there is no loss of suction, so there's no need to rush. It's very important here that you concentrate and avoid deliberately pushing the capsule against the mucosal wall. When you are satisfied with the capsule position and your suction level, you're ready to take the biopsy. But before you do, it's worth noting. Generally speaking, in most cases, an unsuccessful suction biopsy is caused by the operator positioning the capsule too hard up against the mucosal wall during the biopsy. This causes the mucosal wall to stretch and tighten, making it more difficult to withdraw the tissue into the capsule hole. So we're ready. Let's take the biopsy. As I've said before, we recommend using a below grip technique as demonstrated here. As you push forward on the thumb trigger, you'll feel some resistance when the blade hits the cutting board in the front section of the capsule hole. Keep pressing the trigger so that it cuts all the way through the cutting board. This will ensure the specimen is completely cut from the biopsy site and captured cleanly, without risk of the tissue becoming jammed between the blade and the cutting board. This will also help release the specimen for retrieval. Okay, so you've taken the biopsy. Before you withdraw the capsule from the patient, release the syringe to the neutral position. Don't remove the capsule from the device yet. Check and make sure you can't see any of the silver blade. This is important because if any part of the blade is visible, it means you haven't pushed the blade all the way through the cutting board to release the specimen. If the blade is visible, fully depress the trigger until you can't see it. You may need to push harder this time because the blade has lost its momentum. If you can't see the blade, then you're ready to retrieve the specimen. To do this, remove the capsule from the handpiece. As you'll see, the first insertion depth marker is also a controlled fracture snap point. Now, there are two ways of breaking the capsule. You can use your hands. To use this method, place your fingers under each side of the capsule and your thumbs on top and push down on either end. Don't worry, it's safe. The seal is out of the way and the blade will be wedged into the cutting board, preventing any accidental sharps injuries. In later versions of the handpiece, you can place the capsule in the hole located in the base and simply snap. Now this next part is very important. Take a syringe, fill it with saline, place it over the capsule hole and flush with a quick burst. Don't flush from below, as this will only push the specimen deeper into the capsule. In the unlikely event the specimen appears trapped between the blade and the cutting board, simply slide a pair of forceps along the blade until you reach the cutting board. Push and snap the board to release the specimen and flush from the hole. So that's how you take a successful biopsy using the rbi2. Now before we leave you, there are some important points to remember. Firstly, be gentle. Trust the engineering in this device. Also, there is no need to force the capsule against the mucosal wall. Use the manometer to find your preferred combination of suction level and the position of the capsule against the mucosal wall. There will be a slight variation in the correct combination of the negative air pressure and the positioning of the capsule, depending on the technique of the operator. And finally, once you've achieved the right amount of suction, avoid the temptation to quickly fire the trigger. There is no need. The device will hold the negative suction pressure during the biopsy. In designing the rbi2, we set out to create the ultimate suction rectal biopsy system. It's been engineered to deliver the best outcomes for patients and practitioners alike in three key areas: safety, consistency, and ease of operation. If you have any further questions or would like more information on where you can purchase the rbi2 system, please don't hesitate to contact the team here at Oz Systems. We'll be happy to help.